I am not sure whether you guys will be able to see me clearly. It's actually around 7 p.m. and it's getting dark this side. But at least you can see my face. Now, the Deputy President, William Samoei Ruto, came up with a hustler narrative, which was actually spreading like a bushfire in this country. And then from nowhere, the Deputy President and his brigades came up with bottom up. And this week, that bottom up was under attack from Kenyans. And today, the Deputy President decided to offer an explanation through his official social media handles on Twitter and on Facebook. And from that particular statement by the Deputy President, it is clear that the DP is actually attacking President Uhuru Kenyatta and his economic policies. I want us to go through William Ruto's statement and figure out his objectives. But before we do that, if you're watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Let me put my face here so that at least you can see me. Yeah, I think here is okay. Now, let me begin by going through this statement. William Ruto is saying that for those stuck in politics of ethnicity, positions, power, and constitutional changes, they must have a debate on economy, especially the bottom-up model that is focused on the joblessness, struggling hustler enterprises, and those who can't put food on the table that is posing a major challenge. Understandably. Now, from this alone, you can tell that William Samoei Ruto is keen on doing one thing: running away from Jubilee government. Because Ruto became the deputy president in 2013. He ruled this country peacefully without any noise until 2018. And he's saying that we have the option of making peace with the mediocrity of leaders-centered, position stroke power sharing politics, and the failed trickle-down economics, or up our game to the people-centered and bottom-up model that deliberately focuses on labor-intensive infrastructure and manufacture investment. Now, Kenyans must be very, very careful, and they must start asking those very tough questions. William Ruto has been in power. He was part of Jubilee government. If there is a failure, if he believes that the leadership was a mediocre, he was part of Jubilee government. He has been part of Jubilee government. If he believes that sharing power is bad in politics, then again, he shared power with President Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto was a member of URP, and again, William Ruto joined Uhuru Kenyatta to form a coalition. That was actually power sharing. What is he trying to say here? And he's continuing, bottom up is focused on deliberately creating jobs, liberating hustler enterprises from shallow credit exploitation and unfair regulations, and empowering our resource poor farmers, herders to produce so as to free them from slavery and indignity of really food. And I want to agree with William Ruto. What he's trying to say here is that the hustlers are currently burdened by shallow stroke credit exploitation. Now, what he's trying to suggest here is the Fuliza and Mshwari. Mshwari is actually owned by President Uhuru Kenyatta. That's the fact. Mshwari did not come yesterday. Mshwari actually came into this country when Ruto was a powerful deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. Now he's here attacking the development of credit facilities, mobile credit facilities. I just wish he knew how these credit facilities have actually come to the aid of so many Kenyans. Of course, because of some unregulations, it is affecting most of them. But there are so many businesses which are actually run based on Mshwari. They borrow, they pay, life goes on. And it's continuing. Difficult as it is, the economic conversation is a must-have if we have to salvage our present and liberate our future. Welcome to the new bottom-up conversation that will bury tribalism. But it's not really saying, because I expect the Deputy President to explain to Kenyans how, for example, the hustler narrative or how the bottoms-up approach is actually going to help the ordinary Kenyan, someone in my village in Sigoti in Nyakach, someone in Riat village in Kisumu, someone in Hisugoi, because the problems we face in this country are actually the same. I want us to go into why the Deputy President made those statements. Why he's attacking the president. Number one, Ruto is keen on running away from Jubilee failures. The fact of the matter is that Jubilee government failed Kenyans big time. They promised heaven, but delivered hell to Kenyans. Kenyans are currently suffering because of overborrowing by Jubilee government. Kenyans are currently suffering because of corruption by Jubilee government. Those overborrowing, those corruption were actually perpetuated by President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto's government. There is no way he can run away if Kenyans are serious from Jubilee failures. And this is what he's trying to do. He can't purport that the president is exploiting and creating what is calling, because if you go to his previous post, he's suggesting that it's creating kind of cartelism, which is okay. But if you take the ministries which were under the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto in this government, in the first term, when there was no handshake, something was consistent. The fact that most of the people who are in his side were actually the biggest beneficiary of corruption proceeds. So the DP is trying to run away from Jubilee government. And I hope Kenyans will ask him questions. Just the same way I expect Kenyans to ask President Uhuru Kenyatta questions. Because President Uhuru Kenyatta's term is coming to an end. And if his term is coming to an end, one of the questions the president will be asked and must be asked by Kenyans is why Kenyans should support the person he's going to endorse. Because the truth is, the president, in my view, Jubilee government, which he leads, has failed in so many aspects. So you must come to Kenyans and tell them that as much as you are trying to accuse me of having failed, I managed to achieve A, B, and C. That's number one. Number two is that the DP is keen after the attacks from Kenyans. He's so keen on doing one thing. William Ruto is keen on offering explanation. He wants to explain to Kenyans this ghost called, I'm just trying to put a C, but just hold on. Now, the DP is keen on trying to explain to Kenyans the meaning of bottom-up approach. Now, those statements, the very many statements they've issued, there is not a single explanation on bottom-up. What he's doing is just to attack or blame the president and blame the government, which he was actually part of. But he's keen on trying to offer an explanation. And number three, I think the objective he's trying to do is to sustain the bottom-up approach. You know, the truth of the matter is that the DP would not want a situation where Kenyans are going to talk about tribalism. That Kikuyus and Kalenjins have led the country for over 50 years, and that giving Ruto would be adding them 60 years. He would not want a situation where Kenyans were going to discuss that. And this is why they came up with the hustler narrative. They dropped the hustler narrative. Now the DP is coming up with economic talk. When Moi Kibaki came into government, formed government, he stated one thing, that corruption was going to be a thing of the past. That did not happen. When Uhuru and Ruto came into power, they were very clear on what they wanted. They told the Kenyans that they were going to provide 1 million jobs per year. that they were going to provide Kenyans, especially the unemployed, paid internship, that they were going to change the infrastructure, that Kenya was going to be a different country. So far, all these have failed, and the DP is trying to run away, but he wants to sustain this bottom-up approach so that to appear as if he's controlling the narrative of politics in this country. My friends, William Ruto is not a stupid politician. He's very bright. He knows what he's doing. But as a Kenyan, you must, as a matter of urgency, ask him questions. And not only Ruto, you must ask each and every politician questions, whether Raila Odinga, whether Uhuru Kenyatta. That's the only way you can change your situation. Because without doing that, there is no way you are going to change your situation. Your situation is going to remain the way it is. And lastly, I think his main objective was actually to try and sustain or revive the hustler versus dynasty narrative. I stated here, and I did a video, why I felt that deviating from the hustler narrative to the bottom-up approach was bad, politically speaking, for the Deputy President William Ruto. I said that. The truth of the matter is that it is not good for him. And because it's not good for him, the DP is now trying to figure out how can he come out of that. So strategically, he's trying to revive the hustler versus dynasty narrative. He's suggesting that bottoms-up approach is going to help the ordinary person. I don't know how. Because William Ruto is one person who opposed the devolution. In this country, there are certain sections where the Caesarean section, were actually done for the first time because of devolution. Wajir County. There are so many places, like in my place, I come from Upper Nyakachi. And there's one thing which I used to observe before devolution. Those from lower, because of poor road infrastructures, could not take their loved ones who died to their villages or their homes. So what they used to do, they used to come up to our area, Upper Nyakach, then with a vehicle, then lower the coffins while carrying it. Now, the moment the devolution came up, one of the things it achieved was the fact that this stopped. The local MCAs and the governors and the communities identified their needs. And in the first year, the county government of Kisumu fixed specific roads in those regions. So the moment devolution came into place in 2013, that was sorted. That's actually the bottom-up approach, devolution, taking more money, resources from the top to the bottom. William Ruto was opposed to devolution. I'm not so sure whether he's still supporting devolution, because once he opposed devolution during the referendum in 2010, it means he will still oppose it, whether it's going to bring changes or not. So I don't know, and I'm figuring out how his bottom-up approach is going to work, while he wants more money, more resources at the top to be managed at the top by the people at the top who will eventually start stealing. When more money, more resources are allocated at the top, it means more money are available for the loot. I don't know what you think. Let me hear your thoughts. And again, if you're watching this channel for the first time, take a second or two and click the subscribe button. Bye-bye.